Hey everybody, and welcome to Marvel Champions Experience. So, it's a little old, but I owe you all this. I was very sick when this was announced. If you've been following, I was actually hospitalized for a bit. I'm much better now, but I saw this in the hospital and I wasn't able to make a video for it. So I know it's late, I know it's old, I know everyone has seen this already, but I wanted to do it anyway. So here is a late reaction to Gambit. I did look through it at the hospital because I knew I wasn't going to be able to make a video for it at that time. So I did see some of these things, but let's react to it together. Also, if you like what I'm doing, give us a like, give us a subscribe, please. Thank you. All right, what do we got, Gambit? I was very excited about this one, by the way. I really wanted Gambit. I think he's very cool, and I already reacted to the Rogue video, so obviously they're going to come in a pair in February. All right, let's see what you got for us, Gambit. Okay. With his ability to thwart in his alter ego form and his powerful charge attacks, Gambit is a great all-rounder who can slot into any team. It includes a bonus modular, including Exodus, the Herald of Magneto. Excuse me. All right. What do we got? So we have Remy, right, is an alter ego, and he has the abilities of Mutant and Thief. I wonder what traits we'll get with Thief. Thief Extraordinaire, action, thwart. Exhaust Remy and look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Discard one of those cards. Remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of boost icons in that card. That's wild. I'll tell you right now, that's wild. He can thwart from alter ego and fairly well at minimum, right? Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I was going to say I thought it was thwart base, but it's just you thwart on boost icons. That's still really good, I like that a lot. That allows him to flip basically every turn if he wanted and not have to worry too much. So he might be good in leadership. Justice is obviously the play, but if you get a bunch of allies in there and he might be able just to stay in alter ego, depending on the luck of the draw, right? Thwarting in alter ego all the time, letting your allies do the rest. All right, but let's see what his hero has. It's a 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Haven't seen a stat line like that in a while. He's got a very high defense. Maybe he's good in protection. So his abilities, he's still a thief and an X-Men this time. Charge the card. Action. Place 1 charge counter here. Limit once per round. All right. Throw the card. Interrupt. When you play an attack event, remove up to 3 charge counters from here, and that event deals +1 damage for each card counter removed. I want to read that one more time. You place 1 charge counter once per round, right? When you play an attack event and you can use up to 3 charge counters, remove 3 up to 3, that event deals +1 damage for each charge counter removed. So, one thing that Fantasy Flight pointed out is that there is no limit on the amount of charge counters he can have. So that's something to keep in mind for one of his other cards later. So with his Thief Extraordinary ability, Remy can thwart a scheme and scout. Well, what did I miss? Hold on a second. Oh, wait. Oh, because he can scout it. Right. He can look at the top 2 cards, discard one of those, and remove threat. So, got it. So you discard one of them and remove threat from a scheme equal to... Okay. So you can know what the next card is going to be, which is solid. That's really good. So now that I'm thinking about it, even if one of those cards like you left the higher threat card on there, maybe it would be for some sort of benefit, because Advance has no boost icons on it, but maybe you just don't want to draw that card. So I actually think that's really good. This thwarting an alter ego goes just behind his identity. Goes beyond just his identity card. Thieves Guild allows for some additional thwarting and a potential card draw. Let's see what that is. Thieves Guild. It's a 1 support, so you can use this in alter ego. After you resolve your Thief Extraordinary ability, exhaust the Thief Guild. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat from a scheme, draw a card. So he's got a mini. That Justice card slipping my mind right now, right? And it's a support, so it stays there forever. So that's great. Maybe, like I said, let's say if you're playing a leadership deck, and you're staying in Alter Ego, you can have an ally thwart, use Thieves Guild to remove the last threat, and draw a card. So that's great. Let's see. Creole Charmer can provide a bit of burst threat removal and even confuse the villain. Also an Alter Ego action. So Creole Charmer, 2-cost event, thwart. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If it removes the last threat from a scheme, confuse the villain. This dude wants to be playing more in Alter Ego than even someone like Miss Marvel. But this is a really cool card. All right. Let's see. Of course, Remy is more than just a thief. And once he's ready to unveil himself, he can flip over to Gambit. Yeah, we spoke about Gambit already. And unleash a barrage of charge attacks. Use charge a card to build up counters over time, then use throw a card to power up your attack events. This synergizes excellently with attacks like charge card, all right, which gets an extra bonuses for each charge counter you remove. So let's take a look at that. 2-cost event. Hero action. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. For this attack, if Gambit's throw a card ability removes at least 1 counter, this gains ranged. 2 counters, this also gains piercing. 3 counters, this also gains overkill. So let's break this down. I think, let's see. I think this works with, like, you can get all of them, right? If this removes one ranged, piercing, and overkill. So you can get all 3 of these, right? If you remove 3 counters, this is a 5. If you remove 3 counters, this is a 7 damage attack for 2, which is fantastic. And it will have ranged, right? So you ignore retaliate. It has piercing, so you destroy the tough, and it has overkill. So maybe pulling some minions with an aggression deck isn't out of the picture with this, right? But that would be at least 3 turns to build those up. Just don't forget that. All right. Use charge a card to build it. Yep, we spoke about that. Royal Flush, which seems weak at first until you realize that throw a card powers up all instances of damage when it's used. So this is the one I wanted to break down. If you remove 3 counters for Royal Flush, that's 9 damage you can spread across 3 enemies. Okay. So you have to realize that it powers up all instances of damage. So let's see what this says. This is a 3-cost event. Place 1 charge counter on Gambit. Deal 0 damage to an enemy. Deal 0 damage to an enemy. Deal 0 damage to an enemy. How is that 9 damage? Let's see. Oh, I see. That's 9 damage you can spread across 3 enemies. So you remember it says that, I think it's you can remove 3 per turn, right? Move up to 3 charge counters from here. So you can remove 3 charge counters per turn. So this will put 1 on you as well, right? And then you can deal 3 damage to an enemy, 3 damage to an enemy, and deal 3 damage to an enemy. It says 0, right? But you're removing, this is an event. So you remove charge counters for an event, right? So this is a 9 damage attack, right? That you can spread over 3 enemies. Can. Also meaning this is just a flat 9 damage attack, right? Deal 0 damage to the villain. Deal 0 damage to the villain. Deal 0 damage to the villain. So this is a 3-cost event for 9 damage, essentially. So that's wild. But again, well, actually, you don't need to wait 3 turns for that because that also puts 1. You can get that out in the 2nd turn. Okay. Clearly, Gambit wants to build up charge counters as fast as possible. Unfortunately, there are several cards in his kit that help him do exactly that. His natural agility, dyslexia, natural agility, right? Is another superpower. I gotta look into the def focus. Hero interrupt, defense. When you defend against an attack, place 1 charge counter on Gambit. For each charge counter on Gambit, you get +1 defense for that attack. That's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And he already has such a high defense as well, right? He's got 3. Maybe defense is in his protection is in his future. Let's see. Ready yourself with Gambit's guild armor to keep your momentum going to the next round. After Gambit defends against an attack and takes no damage, exhaust Gambit's guild armor and ready damage. Oh, this dude is dying to be played in protection. Dying to be played in protection. Yeah, I'm thinking about that right now. That's pretty wild. This is almost like, no, I don't want to say like Ghost Spider, but this is a really, really, and it only costs one. That's really awesome. To keep your momentum going, okay, unleash a bit of molecular acceleration to help you pay for a card and gain a charge counter at the same time. Okay, so this is just a resource. When you spend this card, place one charge counter on Gambit. This is a double resource, energy and physical. Okay, so you get a huge cost. I wonder how many are in the deck, and you get a charge counter. This wasn't a charge counter, right? You don't get a charge counter here. No. I'll help you pay for gain charge counter. Once you have enough charge counters build up, play Gambit's crime fighting partner and sweetheart Rogue for free. Ooh, I bet she has something to do with like X amount of charge counters. Reduce the cost. Sorry, I'm getting an email. Reduce the cost to play Rogue by 1 for each charge counter on your identity, and she has tough. You could play this chick for free. 2 thwart, 2 attack. Essentially playing her for free. I personally would probably just hold on to this. If I drew this in the first hand, I'm holding on to her until I can play her for free. That's awesome. Comes in with tough. She can protect for you. It's a great ally right there. They've been having really great signature allies in the past for the X-Men set. Let's see. Again, look, there's no limit to how many charge counters Gambit can have on him. Only a limit to how many he can spend. So he can just keep stacking them up. All right, these are some Justice cards. Gambit is, so let's read this first. Gambit is a versatile hero and continues with his pre-built deck. So use operative skill, which is there, but let's take a look at it. 2 cost upgrade, 3 operative counters, max 1 per player. When you thwart, remove 1 operative counter from here. That thwart removes 1 additional threat. So I want to see something. Remove threat. This is not a thwart, right? I was wondering if he technically thwarted. Oh, action, thwart. It is a thwart. Oh, you can use that card in Alter Ego right there. Action, thwart. What about, what's the other one? Creole Charmer, is this a thwart? This is also a thwart. So if you were to play that on Gambit, you can just sit in Alter Ego for a long time and just thwart. I was wrong. I think he does want to be played in Justice. So many choices with him. Combination with breaking and entering. I know it's right there, but play only if your identity has the spy or thief trait, which both sides of Gambit have. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. Again, just thwarting in Alter Ego all day. The only problem with that is you can't build up charge counters, right? I believe, well, this one doesn't say that you need to be in hero form. I'm sure the other ones do, though, right? No, not that one. Where was it? I guess it was just this when you, yeah, this is, you do get a charge counter here, but you have to be defending, so. Molecular acceleration will at least get you charge counters, but I guess you don't. It doesn't say anything about losing the charge counters when you flip. So that's kind of cool. All right. What else we got, Gambit? In combination with breaking and entering. Oh, yeah, we did that one already. Sorry. Yeah, you can be using hero or alter ego. I didn't have to scroll up. I could have just kept on reading. Then use throw a card to make a stealth strike. Pack a massive wallop. This is an old card. 4 damage to an enemy. If that enemy is defeated by this attack, remove 2 threat from a scheme. So it's pretty. I've never really liked this card. It's very expensive, right? Yeah, it'll take out the villain, the minion, but just for an additional 2 threats, it's an expensive card. Right? It is a minion. Well, sorry, an enemy. I guess it's okay, because I guess it's okay. I'm not a big fan of Stealth Strike, but since Gambit might find himself in Alter Ego quite often, he can make a judicious use of Mutant Education to put his important signature cards back into his deck. I'm guessing this just puts cards back in his deck. A 0-cost event, Mutant Education. Play only if your identity has the mutant trait. choose up to 2 identity-specific cards in your discard pile and shuffle them into your deck. If X Mansion is in play, draw a card. Wow, that's synergizing with another support. That's really cool. I like that. Then you're set up and good to go. Team up with Rogue and use this Beauty and the Thief. Yeah, I would never be using this card. 2-cost event, Beauty and the Thief. Hero action, deal 4 damage to an enemy, remove 4 threat from the scheme. It's really good. It's really good. My problem with these team-up cards is it works really well if you're playing with a friend, right? Because Rogue will always be out. As a true solo player, I don't like it because you need to get Rogue out first and then have this card. So the sequence of events and just the RNG of it, they don't work out in your favor. All right, so here we have the modular that's going to come with it. Herald of Avalon, Exodus, 1 scheme, 1 attack, 6 health. He is an Acolyte, he's an Elite, and he is a Psionic. He has Retaliate 1 plus Villainous. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for Psionic Shield attachment and attach it to Exodus. So let's take a look at what the Psionic Shield does. +1 scheme, +1 attack, attached to a minion. Otherwise, Psionic Shield gains Surge, so this would go on him. When attached minion would leave play, instead heal all damage from that minion and put it back into play, then discard that attachment. Are you freaking kidding me? He gets it. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for Psionic Shield attachment. Am I reading this correctly? So he's actually a 2/2 minion with 12 health, because that's 6, right? Then you would heal all damage from him and put him back into play. Then discard this. That's rough. Yeah, Accenture's giving him an extra life. And his side scheme, oh, this has got to be great. When defeated, the player who defeated this scheme searches the encounter deck and discard pile for Exodus and reveals him. So 6 threat, extra encounter card. When you defeat it, you get Exodus. This is a very hard modular. This is a very, very hard modular. Luckily, it's only 6 cards, but it is very, very hard. All right, there he is. Gambit. Coming out in February with Rogue. I know I'm hyped. I know I'm very excited. I think he looks great. You know, as a true solo player, I'm a big fan of Protection and Justice. And I think he's leaning Justice hard, like real hard, especially with these new Justice cards right here. Right? But Protection, especially with that one with the what is it? The guild armor. This is solid, you know, get his defense real high and just keep on readying this dude. I think I'm going to try Justice first, his precon, and then I really want to try Protection. So, there you go. A little late, and I do apologize, but there's Gambit for you. I hope you all have a great day. Let me know what you think. Do you like Gambit? Do you hype for him? I'm so hyped for him. I think he looks awesome. Take care.